Good morning, LinkedIn. Good morning, Facebook. Good morning, YouTube. Good morning, the world. Coming up on today's show, we have Mr. Duncan McDougall, followed by Meenal Chauhan, and then last but not least, Mr. Andrew Merrifield.
A warm welcome to all.
Yes, a warm welcome to you as well, Ed.
Right, and to you too, Andy. I think it's a warm welcome because it's chilly today.
It is a little bit cold. It is a bit cold. It's lucky I've got a nice cup of coffee in this lovely mug.
Well, I have, but I haven't got my Cobra mug, so it's going to be like that. I can't show my mug. I have to drink down here because I'm in shade. But I do have my Cobra top up.
Fantastic. Well done, Ed.
Top if you want one. You've got to join the Cobra Club first. So come and get involved. www.thecobraclub.co.uk.
Fantastic. Right, Ed, we've got an action-packed show today. So let's first of all welcome our the guest that joined in the last week or so. So let's roll through that. And after that, we're going to get our first guest in. I can all see him in the green room. Our guests.
Stop eating the crisps, Meenal. I've told you 100 times stop eating the crisps. Duncan's just done a runner.
Yes. Hopefully Duncan will be back for his interview. Otherwise, Meenal might have to get in Meenal first. Anyway, let's have a look. Let's welcome some new members in to the Cobra Club. So here we go.
Well, I'd like to say welcome to Anne Fitzsimmons from the RWB HQ.
Then I'd like to welcome Rachel Cappuccini from Graftonstone, who joined Quest West in Bristol.
Oh, and Mark Conroy from Cobra Connect. So welcome, Mark.
Fantastic. Then Nadia Bakir, who's joined Cobra RWB. Welcome, Nadia.
And Katerina Manchalinsky from Cobra Connect. Welcome, Katerina. Good to see you.
Fantastic. And I'd like to welcome David Torrey, who joined Cobra Thrive up in Mid Wales.
You know, it's quite funny that a David Torrey joins, followed by a Warren Milburn. So we've got Warren Milburn who joins in Cobra Connect. It's a Labour side, you see. Got Tories.
Fantastic.
Bit of a joke.
Then I'd like to welcome Tosca Lahiri. And last, two more, Steve Neal and Peter McCallum. Good to see you.
I'm not allowed to say anybody anymore.
Well, you know.
I'm joking. Peter McCallum.
Right, I see we've got Duncan back in the room.
Well, Duncan.
Let's hit this VT, and when we come back, Duncan will be live on LinkedIn. So here we go.
Everybody, I hope you can hear me.
I'm out of breath now after all that dancing. How are you, Duncan? Good to see you. Good morning.
Duncan.
Oh, you can hear me after all. Good. I've lost my
absolutely.
Connection in the last 5 minutes, so it's anybody's guess what's going to happen next. As he used to say in one of those puppet shows from the 60s, anything can happen in the next half hour.
Absolutely. This is live and anything can happen and usually does happen. So that's the joy of broadcasting live on the internet. And it's all part and parcel of it. So no pressure. People do drop out and all sorts of stuff goes on. But that's what makes it what it is. And we never apologize for that. So Duncan McDougall from Caledon Consulting. You've got a bit of a background, Duncan, and within sort of 2 or 3 minutes, I wonder if you could give us a a sort of a quick running history of all the bits that have led you up to Caledon Consulting.
Purely and simply, Andrew, I'm a chemist who went to the bad. I did a PhD in chemistry in the dim and distant past, discovered that research and development wasn't for me, got into manufacturing and never quite managed to get out again. And that story has led me around most of England, eventually to come to sunny Yorkshire, which is... I put down roots in God's own county for health and safety reasons, in no small measure because my wife has said if I suggest moving house again, she'll probably kill me. What I specialise in is improving industrial manufacturing processes, obviously with a heavy chemical bias because that's where I spent most of my career. But the skills I've got will transfer into pretty near anything that makes stuff. What I particularly specialise in, I've jokingly referred to in the past as getting quartz out of pint pots, finding ways to get more capacity out of the assets that a business has, and thereby indirectly saving them a lot of money because they're not spending on stuff they don't need, plus enabling them to meet the demands of a market. Alongside of that, I've brought in more flexibility, which means that such businesses can react faster when things are uncertain. Thank you, Russell.
It made me smile. I had to put it up, sorry.
And on top of that, I have a lot of previous form in driving down the amount of inventory that people carry. The chemical industry is terrible about this. They get a warm, fuzzy feeling if they have lots and lots of part processed material sitting around in corners. A lot of my colleagues think of it as something to keep the plant fed. Most other people would call it working capital, and sometimes it's worth a lot of money. So by driving down that working capital and turning it into something that will sell, whilst at the same time keeping the plant going so that we're not wasting a lot of time on expensive assets doing nothing.
Could that be opening up new sales channels?
And getting more out of the assets we have, I can hopefully make you a lot more money. And I've done it enough times that I can say that in full confidence.
I mean, there's a lot of waste out there, isn't there? And, you know, having shelves or containers or whatever it is full of either chemicals or products that eventually will go out of date, I suppose. You must see this all the time, Duncan, in what you do.
Well, there was one factory where I worked a few years ago where walking into the office meant going past a stack of 1,000 litre IBCs. You must have seen them around the place. Big plastic things in metal cages.
Yeah, like they
3 high, 2 deep, and about 10 long. All part full, none of them either use nor ornament to the customer. All we needed to do was take this material, which was passed and perfectly okay for all normal purposes, and blend it back in every time we made the appropriate materials. Over the space of about 3 months, that stack went down from 3 high, 2 deep, and about 12 long, to 2 high and 10 long.
Very good.
And we were feeding it in again as fast as we were chucking it out. The other thing about that was, and again, something I'm quite proud of, the company used to do year-end stock take in the middle of December, which is a great time to do the year-end stock take because it gets dark. They were shutting the plant down for a full day so that the team on duty could get out and count drums. After I'd been in the production manager's slot for about 18 months, we were doing the stock take before it got dark every time, and the plant was still running. And the people who were doing the final count were able to get home before the pubs shut, which was often touch
They'll be
and go.
Yeah.
Well, whether they actually got home or not is another matter, but with the pubs not being shut, they were able to do something about it. All of this is freeing up time to do something productive instead of basically moving things around.
Yeah.
And over the years, I've become quite good at it. So if you know any small to medium-sized manufacturers out there who want to make a bit more money, I might just be the man you're looking for.
Perfect.
Fantastic. Yeah, absolutely recommend Duncan, especially with your chemical background and process, I suppose, process management and reducing manufacturing companies' operating costs. It's definitely something that all firms at the moment need to look at, and yeah, definitely would advise to have that chat with Duncan. But what I want to do now, Duncan, is to ask you something slightly out of the box, because we always like to get to know our guests a little bit more. Which one, Ed? Right, let's have a. I think Duncan, he must have something else going on behind the scenes.
I think
so. Let's hit this button. So you're going to get about 30 seconds to think about this, Duncan. When we're going to come back, we're going to find out just a little bit more about you. So here we go. Take it away, Duncan.
Well, I can certainly tell you one thing. I don't like painting.
Right. Fair dues.
See, I have a philosophy about
that's why we've had a painter in doing our front room for the last couple of days, but that's another story. Okay, what else do I do when I'm not solving the world's problems for them? Well, I'm a gardening fanatic. I like things that grow. I have done for a long time, but that's a long story. So I'll spare you that today. And
what do you focus on? Do you focus on vegetables or flowers, or what do you like to grow?
Oh, flowers especially. I've become very good at growing roses.
Oh,
but I'll try most things. And I could do you quite a nice line in fuchsias if you happen to want some for summer flowering, you know.
No, absolutely.
I've got to the stage now where I'm growing my own.
Are you propagating
local garden centre?
Are you propagating your own types? Have you got your own?
Yes. It's quite easy, really.
Brilliant.
And no harm if it doesn't work. And the other thing is, before Baron Boris pulled the rug at the beginning of last year, I am very heavily into country dancing.
Oh wow!
If you've ever been to a ceilidh, you'll know what I mean. If you haven't, it's time you did.
Fantastic! That sounds really good, Duncan. Yeah, that sounds.
It's the best kind of exercise there is, and most of the venues don't have a bar. Most fitness centres, you know.
That's really good. That's really good. Who would have thought that about Duncan, who's into dancing and his gardening? So brilliant. So thank you, Duncan. Just quickly, Duncan, we're rapidly running out of time. So how does it work if someone wants to speak to you about you coming on board and looking at their manufacturing processes? What would someone do, and how can someone get hold of you?
Right. Well, I'm on LinkedIn, of course, and there's all the information scrolling across at the bottom. I have a very nice new website, which anyone who cares to can have a look. And there's the cast iron proof of what we've done and how I've done it.
Fantastic.
Give me a call.
Do you do a free consultation at the start? Is that part of it?
I have to. I'm not about to go in and start handing out advice on when there may be all sorts of nuances going on there. There's no such thing as a typical chemical site.
No.
Trust me.
No.
Tried it.
No. Full of hazards and dangers, I'm sure. But yeah, it's been fascinating sort of find out a little bit more about you and your business and how you can help, I suppose, manufacturing firms with a bias towards chemicals. Yeah.
plastics. And if you know any microbreweries out there who like to get a few more pints out the door, do give me a shout.
You're the man.
Because it's basically the same thing.
Can you solve the carbon dioxide problems?
At the moment, no. That's a major effort, and it's a specialised subject in any case. It's one of the few areas where I have absolutely no experience. But I noticed that there's 1 or 2 plants are reopening now that have been shut.
That's interesting.
Fantastic. Anyway, thank you, Duncan. Thank you so much. When we come back, folks, we'll have me now in the room. So get ready for me now. And we'd like to say thank you ever so much, Duncan, and we'll see you soon. Take care.
Hi.
Hi, Mel.
Sorry, I am like a little bit. Hello.
Are you well?
Yes.
Good to see you.
I know. I've been in and out, haven't I? I've been very busy, and all. Should I say? Sorry, my throat's gone as well. Through to Cobra Club.
Fantastic.
Bring that forward, to be fair.
Yes, just so anyone out there, obviously, we know me now and she knows us, but for anyone out there watching, Meenal, I wondered if you could just give everyone an update on your HR journey from where we last kicked off, sort of thing.
I started with MCHR and Cobra Club and My HR Matters in the beginning of June. I was told that I should spend about 6 to 12 months before I get referrals. Within 3 weeks, I did.
That's a bit good. And is that referrals that turned into business?
Through Cobra. Yeah.
Fantastic. That's brilliant.
We like
So it's all been positive. Yeah. Health issues are separate, but in terms of I think last week I had a conversation, and in terms of it's so vast. So I'm going from the barracks to working with small organizations that only have one person that want to employ one person. And then I'm going to the barracks who are want to integrate the veterans into so it's all through Cobra.
Fantastic. That's really, really pleased for you, Meenal. So HR is quite a sticky subject, and everything's fine until something goes wrong in HR. And so if you had to give some top tips to a company just starting out, looking to employ their first member of staff, what would they be?
Just to make you jump.
No, I would say just listen. Just listen to the people. Yeah. And HR and employment law, everything's about the people, and the legislation is there. However, cultures are different. You've got so many different cultures even within our own vicinity. Yeah. So listen to what they have to give. And I think my top tip is for any management organization or any management that do not have a HR function, if they do, come my way. But if they don't, at the end of the day, you've got to think about the individuals, listen to them, and how. And I think that's more focus right now. It might be. Sometimes you kind of come to a position where you think, is it because of all what's going on? But it isn't. Now people have realised that, family, hybrid working, all that. There's so much more going on, and people want well-being.
Yep.
You have one life, you live it.
Absolutely.
And HR is the forefront of it right now, because people, there's so many people that are like struggling with like anxiety because they don't want to go to work.
Yes.
Because they've lived at home and for the last 2 years, and there's other people that want to just get out. So it's like having that balance, and that's where hybrid working comes in, and that's
There's a conversation rumbling around at the moment, and I see it on social media or on the news. I think someone posted it on the Cobra Club chat, actually. No job, no jab. Should, and this falls squarely into the HR arena of, well, does it? Maybe it doesn't. If I want my job, if I want to keep my job and want to earn my money, I need to have my jab and then go into the office. Is that something you're coming across? Is that something you can research about? Is there any legislation about that kind of stuff?
Well, it's up to, there is. There's people that are saying that they can't. However, it's human rights. Human rights come in there, so it gets very political.
There's two sides to that.
Whether they do, but then they can't travel to certain places. For myself, I'm talking from a personal perspective. I wanted to travel to Iceland because I want to see the volcano erupt and northern lights and stuff. But the amount of what I had to go through, and then, well, let's not go into political. Then you've got like Boris Johnson going, 10,000 people are just going to come in through the doors, and we have to go through that just to go and see northern lights. And then you've got all that. It's kind of like very difficult from a business perspective. From a business and HR perspective, what I can say is it's a changing world. It's completely different to what it used to be.
It is difficult, isn't it? Because if you talk about one disease, which COVID is horrid, etc., should you also talk about any other diseases? So should we only go to work if we've had our MMR, for instance? Or mumps and rubella, if we haven't, should we come to work? And at what point do you draw the line? I understand that COVID's a killer and all the rest of it, but it's a difficult one, because those people who have been inoculated would say, I want to be kept safe, and those people who haven't say, I want the choice not to, and it's a difficult arena, really. So how do you manage the political tensions within a business when that happens?
It's about understanding. The latest phenomenon right now is whether we class menopause as disability. Well, then is puberty disability? It's like a never ending.
Yeah, where do you draw the line with
it? You've got to think about the longer perspective. But however, realistically, menopause is natural. Puberty is natural. Why would that be classed as disability? And now it's all there in the media as,
isn't it? I mean, I think we have a human condition. So, for instance, women give birth and men don't. So it's nothing I can do about that. That's biological. Yeah. Biological, you can't do it. However, I think businesses should make it easy for people to be human beings. So if we go through these things in life, businesses should support people through them. That's Ed's.
No, I'm not saying that they shouldn't.
No.
They're trying to class it as a disability. It's not a disability. It's it's nature.
It's very difficult. So listen, talking about, because people now, they're starting to look forwards a little bit. I mean, you were talking about Iceland, etc. there. So you're not allowed to say Iceland, okay? But I'm going to ask you another question, because certainly you're starting to look around to see what else is there. So I wonder now. So you've not been to Iceland, but where's your favourite holiday destination? So if Minal can choose, what would you choose?
I'd choose Iceland.
Oh, would you? Even though you're not allowed to choose Iceland, you'd choose Iceland.
You know why? Because I want to see the the volcano erupt, and also the Blue Lagoon and the Northern Lights.
Yeah, I'd love to see them.
The Northern Lights.
We've got a question for you. So John Pental sent a question in. This is John's question. He works in a number of care homes. From November, anyone working in a care home or going to a care home for maintenance and support will need to have been double jabbed. I'm looking for a new employee, but if they're not double jabbed, they cannot go to site. Where do I stand? That's interesting. So for John, i.e. he takes on, I presume...
Yeah, my sister and my brother-in-law have got a multi-million-pound business who own few care homes. And to be fair, I will message him right now. He can.
So John, I was going to come back to you directly, I think, on that one.
Yeah,
but it's
I will do directly.
There's a lot of people out there asking questions, and I know that Christine thinks you're wonderful. And Cherie says hi. Hi, Cherie. Hi, Christina. I just thought I'd let you.
You know what? You both of you have probably seen the difference in me from when I first joined to now.
Absolutely.
And the confidence has come from Cobra Club, and I will, plug it to the max.
You're amazing.
It has.
You're a real testament to networking.
I need to do that actually, because I know I've seen the other testaments, but I don't know how to do it. So I need to ring somebody.
You absolutely do. So Mina, we're coming to that point in time where we're running out of time. So if somebody wanted to have a chat to you, like John or Pental, who's just sent you a message, but if someone wanted to get in touch with you, how would they get in touch with you?
Yeah, I've not got my own website yet. I was talking about that with Alan. But in terms of my own, yeah. Oh, you've already got it.
I'm clever, aren't I? It's almost like we prepared before you came on.
So I'm there right now. I'm in the process. I'm working with Sarah Louise Dobson in terms of my
Really
business cards, and then just work forward.
Get your website up.
Yeah.
So listen, thank you so much for
coming. I need to do a testimonial, so I need to
get a testimonial. We can whack that out on social media as well. But if yeah, lovely.
I'll send you the link, Minal.
Yeah.
I'm going to play a very short VT, Minal. Thank you so much for coming in. I'm going to salute you and say thank you for coming in. In a minute, we're going to see the wonderful Andrew Merrifield. So I'm going to play a short VT, and then we'll see what happens. So I'll talk to you soon. But great to see you with me now. And
what I can say is thank you for you two, because I wouldn't have got the contracts that I have done without the support from the Cobra Club.
Good people.
And all of them have been through that. So I need to do the testimonial so that I can put it on.
Fantastic. Yeah, really pleased. You deserve it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, fantastic.
Good seeing you, Minal. Thank you so much. See you soon.
Bye.
So, Mr. Hatcher, just wondering.
Thanks, Ed. Like on the spot there. Well,
it's
easy actually, and I see this lady like once, twice a week, and meeting, networking events, and she's always got a good story to tell, and she's a testament to putting hard work into your business as a startup, and not expecting too much straight away, but by doing the right things over and over and over again. This is how you grow your business. And so my hero of this week is Emma Dunlop Waters, who was in last week, or a couple of weeks ago, and award-winning marketing business as a startup. I think she started, when we started the Cobra Club, right in the start of the pandemic, and it's coming on leaps and bounds. And just want to give a big shout out to Emma Dunlop Waters at ER Marketing. So well done, Emma. You're my hero of the week. Right, Ed. I think, I give a bit of my information out there, but really, I think we all want to know what your wise words are for this week, Ed. So here we go.
I think that I'm gonna bow to the world of art for my wise words this week. So, in order to change anything, to make a difference, you've got to understand how things work very, very well. So Duncan's a great example of this. So a really qualified man worked through an industry. He's now qualified, so he understands the rules. And in order to then change the rules or break the rules, if you like, and look at new ideas, you have to. So Pablo Picasso would say you have to learn the rules like a pro, so you can break them like an artist. And we come across quite a few people who try to break the rules before they've actually learned how to do them, and it doesn't work very well. If you know what you're doing really, really well, you can then look at changing things and moving things forwards. So I'm going to bow to Pablo Picasso today and use his wise words because I think they're pretty wise.
Fantastic. That's great advice there, Ed. And I'll take that on board for sure. And know your stuff before you want to break it, essentially. So brilliant. So what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to roll this VT, and when we come back in the room, Mr. Andrew Merrifield will be here with us. So here we go. Good morning, Mr. Merrifield.
Good morning, Andrew.
Good morning, everybody. Good to be here.
Good to see you, my friend.
Yes.
How are you?
Yeah, welcome to the Gritty Business Show, live on LinkedIn. And obviously, you've been sitting there in the green room eating the peanuts like everyone does, and all the snacks down below. But so what we normally do, Andrew, is ask you a little bit about your background and a little bit about your journey, where you've come from, what you've been up to. Any of the really exciting stuff, and if you could tell us a bit about that, and for a couple of minutes, that'd be great.
Okay, I'm not sure how much exciting stuff there is. Sorry to disappoint, but I guess everybody's around life is not very exciting. I'm no exception to that. Okay, so a little bit like Duncan earlier on, I started off doing something, and I'm not doing it anymore. So going back in the dim and distant past, I thought I wanted to be an automotive engineer, but I fairly quickly realised that I didn't.
Wow.
And I moved, whilst I was working in the motor industry, I moved into sort of sales, technical sales and marketing, and via a few automotive companies, ended up on the marketing side, working in after sales and used car sales and stuff like that. But in 2006, I'd kind of had enough of the corporate world. And so I took this huge, brave decision that people take from time to time to go out and do something on my own. And that's what I did. I started off life with an internet marketing franchise, which was back in 2006, people were struggling to understand what the internet was all about and what a website was and what you could do with it, etc., etc. But fairly quickly, I started to specialize in things, and I specialized in using Google pay-per-click advertising.
When did you realize that Google was going to be as influential as it is? Because it
took me about a year, I suppose. Like I say, I started in 2006.
Yes.
I think Google Ads had started about 4 years before that. Okay. But it was clear that people use Google to find things.
Yes.
mind you, back in the day, Yahoo actually existed, was quite big as well.
Ask Jeeves and all sorts. I mean, there was actual
all sorts of stuff that have just disappeared now. But I found that doing Google advertising, you could at least you could predict the results reasonably accurately. Whereas stuff like search engine optimization, it's impossible to predict what's going to happen. So I stuck with Google, and basically what I do these days is help small businesses to use Google advertising to generate sales inquiries, or if they've got an e-commerce proposition, to generate sales.
Yeah, it's interesting because as a sales manager, that's what you look for. You look for an understanding of a process that gives, you can never guarantee, but results that you can predict. So it's that sort of consistency of sales that people look for. It's not necessarily being, selling 1 million of something. It's consistently what's going to happen next month, because you have to justify your spend. Is that sort of what you help people to formulate and put together a sort of marketing strategy using Google?
Yeah, I suppose it comes from my my background. My background is kind of mathematical and analytical, I suppose. When I was in the sort of engineering type environment, and it stuck with me ever since. So I like to know how a process works. What the key levers are, and if you move this lever, what's it gonna produce? Et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
And I know the Google Ads platform is big and complex, but you can at least have an idea as if you change this, what's going to happen, or don't do this, but do that, So yeah, it's helping businesses to use the power of Google to their advantage, basically.
Yeah, definitely.
And if you're a new company out there and you've got a proposition that you want to put out there on the internet, I mean, realistically, how long should you keep flogging a dead horse or keep feeding a live horse? It's this thing as, people try it, it fails, it doesn't work, they probably haven't done it properly. Is it something you've got to do for a year? Can I just do a month? I mean, how does one come up with the right strategy around all this kind of stuff?
So it's not really time dependent. It's more volume of traffic to your website dependent. So if you had a huge budget, you could cut down the amount of time, because you'd be able to pay for the visitors much, much faster. So,
yes.
You could potentially do it in a month or something like that. If you had lots of traffic, you'd find out what works and what doesn't work. If you have a much, much smaller budget, it's going to take you longer, because at the end of the day, what it's all about is looking at the data and seeing what works and what doesn't work. So if you got 50,000 visitors in month one, you'd have a lot of data. You'd be able to understand what works and what doesn't. If you had 25 visitors, you wouldn't have a clue what was going on.
No.
So it's more dependent on how quickly you can get visitors to your web property.
Okay, and social media versus Google Ads?
Okay, so I don't really deal with social media. I don't know, when you say social media, obviously there's various different bits of it. Facebook, for example, you have Facebook ads. I don't know whether you call that social media or not.
I would. So if I was comparing, if I was a sales manager looking to do sort of a digital campaign, I might hear that Facebook is good, and I might hear that Google is good.
Okay.
Typically, which works better, or is it different types of business work better on different platforms? I mean,
yeah, it's horses for courses, I think, is the answer. The Google Ads platform is different from the Facebook Ads platform, and is also somewhat different from the Microsoft Ads platform.
Okay.
The way that I would summarize it is the strength of Google relies upon people's ability to search.
yes.
So they go on to google.com or google.co.uk, they type in a few words to try and find what they want to find. So if there are logical search terms in abundance, then that is likely to work. Yeah?
Makes sense.
Facebook is more about the information that Facebook hold on people. and being able to say, okay, well, I want to target 34-year-olds in Reading that like to eat kebabs on a Friday. You know, if you want that kind of approach, then Facebook is probably better than Google.
Okay.
But there have been a few studies over the years as to kind of which platform produces better results. The last one that I saw kind of said that Google was better.
Yeah.
It was a few years ago.
Does it also
To some
depend
extent,
on,
it's a bit like comparing apples with pears, you know.
yeah, does it depend on the size of your business as well? I mean, for instance, do Google Ads work better if I have a bigger business, or does it make no difference?
No, I don't think it depends on the size of your business, because, you know, you can craft a Google Ads campaign which is pretty much irrelevant to the size of the business.
Yes.
Clearly, where you take people to, there's got to be a good web property. You know, you might struggle if your presence looks DIY as opposed to perhaps a larger company. But just being a big, well-known company doesn't necessarily mean that you're able to get better results. You really can compete with big players, even with a fairly modest budget, you know, if you do the job right.
Yes. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
To
It's definitely an interesting subject, and yeah, like you said, getting into the mechanics of how it all works and what levers do what is how to get the most out of your campaign. And I guess that's why you do what you do, and that's why people come to you, isn't it, Andrew?
Yes, I think so. I mean, to use an analogy, I think the iceberg analogy is quite a good one. The little bit of the iceberg that you see above the water is the bit that most people see. It's the adverts that appear when you search on Google.
Yes.
But underneath it, the actual mechanism that powers those adverts is like the rest of the iceberg, which is way, way bigger than the bit that you see.
So if I was new to digital to digital marketing, and you were approaching me, what would be your top tip really to get myself ready for a proper campaign? Bear with me a second.
Okay, the top tip. You need to think like a consumer, not like a business.
Okay.
So you need to think the way that a consumer would search for your business, not the way that you would search for it.
Makes sense.
And if I've got time, there's a very good analogy to this. You know, if you were Ryanair, you would probably think that your business was a low-cost airline. But people don't search for low-cost airlines. People search for cheap flights from Birmingham to Malaga. And so you have to think like the consumer, not like the business owner. And once you can get laser focused on the sorts of terms that your consumers would search for, you're halfway there.
So you can help people sort of do that SEO research to sort of find that out and understand exactly what people are looking for so they can target their ads very specifically, do you?
Yes, that's exactly what we do. It's what we call keyword research. So you look at various different keywords, and Google provides the ability to tell you the search volumes in certain geographic locations for those search terms.
Wow. So
you can see whether 3 people are searching for it or 300,000 people are searching for it.
No way.
That's brilliant. I'm just going to, because we're rapidly running out because time goes so quickly on here. Before we get into, how we, contact you, Andrew, and everything else, we'd like to find just a little bit more about our guests on the show. And you remind me a bit of a rebel rouser back in your day, Andrew. So what I want to do was find out about your favourite music.
Gosh, this is exposing my age now, isn't it?
Would it have been a 33, would it? Or
Sorry?
45?
I think, 45, I think. I can't quite remember the first record that I bought because I think I kind of, I have an older brother and he was kind of a little bit ahead of me with regard to buying stuff, and I probably had more pocket money than me. So it was certainly a Beatles record. I think it was "She Loves You," but I think my brother bought that, so I can remember that, but I can't remember the actual one.
That's like the first one. Yeah, but that's like the first one you remember, isn't it? Sort of
Possibly would have been the Beatles, yeah.
Yeah, brilliant,
That's a
fantastic.
pretty cool start. You see, what you want to say is my first was Cilla Black, and everyone goes, "Oh, a shame." But you say the Beatles, and everyone goes, "Oh, okay." So I think you're hiding. So I think you're going to say, "Yeah." No, I'm joking. Fantastic era to buy music. I mean, just best era ever. The excitement going with it and the changes that are going on. It's a.
I can say that Elton John got me through university, so I've probably got pretty much all of his albums.
I watched his film.
We graduated to cassettes by then.
Yes.
Just great,
Yeah.
happy music, positive music.
Brilliant. Just quickly, Andrew, because we are literally out of time. So if, in terms of how does it work? Is there free consultation? How does someone get hold of you?
Well, I'm hoping Ed's going to do his magic, which he appears to have done. Yes, well done, that's fine. So all of that is true. Yeah, so I normally, especially nowadays, with Zoom and Teams, I would have a one-to-one session with somebody, probably maybe up to an hour, no cost to that, and really kind of explore whether it's likely to work for them or not.
Yep.
I think we can do that in an hour, understand what they're trying to promote, understand what's possible, and see if the two are aligned or not.
And from that, you can put together a cost strategy for them. So
yes, after that, we go deeper into it and put together a proposal, for some Google Ads campaigns.
Fantastic. Well, I definitely recommend everyone out there who's considering doing a campaign of some sort at some point to get in touch with Andrew to find out if it's if they're heading in the right direction. So thank you ever so much, Andrew. It's been a pleasure to have you on the show, and it's been fascinating as always with these kinds of discussions. And thank you ever so much.
Thank you, guys.
No problem.
Well, Mr. Hatcher, what a fantastic, great guest we've had on today.
Absolutely, it's been brilliant. I just love it. You just get to find out all those little things, and just bite size.
It's also really interesting hearing all three people actually look at business process. And they all, one might call it manufacturing, one might call it marketing, one might call it the sort of like the internal politics and the HR side of things, but actually they're all processes, and if those processes are run right in your business, they just save you bucket loads of money.
Make your money, save your money, give you more time. What are you going to do with that time? And spend it with your family. You're going to go fishing. I'm going to go and grow some roses.
Surfing, Andy, surfing.
Go do a bit of surfing. Just quickly, Ed, we are rapidly running out of time, so I just want to give a big shout out to Chris, who's running his CV workshop at the club. The next one coming up is tomorrow. CV not shortlisted. Why? There must be a reason why. If you want to find out why your CV is not getting shortlisted, then come along and see Chris at the Cobra Club, or you can book your ticket out there on Eventbrite. So just search for Chris Cutting. Today in the club we have speed networking with Kath Kirkland. Starts at midday. If you want a ticket for that, it's on Eventbrite, or just go to the Cobra Club webpage. Fantastic. Ed and I running our business strategy hour every Monday, where you can get answers to your sales or business. We can give you ideas of what to do and why you should be doing it, sort of thing, which is great. And it's not on this week, but the David Lockett Investment Lounge has started at the Cobra Club. So if you're looking to make investments or want information about investments out there and just different opportunities, how to have a side hustle.
How to get more money in your pocket with David Lockett. That's what we like to say.
If you want more money in your pocket, contact David Lockett. And I must give a shout out to the award-winning best Amazon author, seller, Beverly Lockett, who are both enjoying themselves in France at the moment.
Bonjour, ça va? Oui, ça va bien. Fromage, s'il vous plaît.
Well done, Ed.
The wonders I do for French, English diplomatic relations.
That's it. You should be our diplomat. Anyhow, Ed, what we're going to do is going to roll straight into the weekly events, and
Exciting.
Yeah, let's give it a go. Are you ready? You up for this?
Always ready.
Okay, I'm going to let you take away because Monday Motivation's the first one. So here we go.
Well, as Andrew says, Monday Motivation is the very first networking of the week. Come and join me Monday morning at 10 o'clock to get your diary full of appointments for the upcoming week.
Fantastic. Then we have Christie's Virtual Coffee Club every Monday, 3 to 4 p.m.
And then we can go on to Cobra Creative with the awesome Hannah Matarazzo every Monday, 4 till 5. Cobra Creative.
Fantastic. Awesome. And then we have 007, Mr. Heaven himself, Mr. Zappa and Khan, all the way from Birmingham Central, Monday Mayhem, weeklies on Monday, 7:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m.
And start on Tuesday morning, bright and breezy, with the awesome Judith West and Quest West Business Networking, 10:30 to 11:30. Great music, Andy.
Fantastic. Then we have Yvonne Taylor, the missing piece of your jigsaw, Yvonne runs her networking event every Tuesday at midday.
Please join Victoria Woods at the Cobra office at 1:30 to 2:30.
Fantastic. Then next up we have Katrina Ellis, the Titan troubleshooter on the Isle of Man, Cobra TT, every Tuesday, 4 p.m. to 5 p.m.
And then we just heard it mentioned, with all your money in your pocket, join David Lockett for Wednesday mornings 10 to 11. Coffee, chat, knowledge and wealth.
Fantastic. Then we have, as we said before, Speed Networking Business Generator with Kath Kirkland every Wednesday, 12 p.m. to 1 p.m.
And then join the lady herself. Join Beverly on Wednesdays 2 to 3:30. Beverly Lockett Online Mastermind.
Brilliant. Then next up, it's not on this week, but the Snowden Summit with Rhian Anthony, weeklies on Wednesday, 4 p.m. to 5 p.m.
And then the big one, the one tonight. Come along and join us. You can come along for free. You have to be a Cobra Club member. Come along to Meeting Talent every Wednesday, 7 till 9.
Brilliant. Then we have Cobra Connect with Mr. Jonathan Foy. That's every Thursday at 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Cobra Connect.
And then the main event, as Barry would call it, Thursdays 1 till 2 with the awesome Barry Hunt, Cobra Live Victim.
Brilliant. Next up we have Chris Mason, currently sat on Cobra Reception. Hi Chris. Thursday mornings 4 p.m. Thursday afternoons 4 p.m. to 5 p.m.
Oh, and then Friday morning, come and join the inspirational Louise Montblanc for First Thing Friday down in Lyme Regis, 8 till 9 o'clock. Have fish and chips for the beach with Louise.
Brilliant. Then we have Mr. Shane Yates for the Full Welsh Breakfast every Friday morning, 9:30 to 11. Get yourself a big full breakfast and come on down.
Boop, boop. Cobra Express pulling into the station every Friday, 2 till 3:30 with Alan Campbell, Cobra Express Club.
And last but not least, we have Sharon Ritchie with Wind Down Friday, every Friday, 4 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. Grab a glass of wine or a glass of beer and come on board.
Poets Day. Fantastic.
Brilliant.
Oh, great show, Andy.
Yeah, no, it's been good. It's been good fun. It's found out loads about lots of about the interesting guests. So that's fantastic. So if anyone would like to find out more about the Cobra Club, please do visit us on www.thecobraclub.co.uk and ask a question, come on the show. Absolutely. You've heard great testimonial there from me now. So happy days. That's what it's all about.
Business happens. Come and get involved. and we'll show you around. We do virtual tours most days at 12 o'clock. So if you'd like one, you can always send an email to Andrew or to ed@thecobraclub.co.uk, and we'll gladly show you around, give you a good understanding of how we work, and introduce you to some really cool people.
Yeah, cool. Thanks, Ed. Great to see you. We'll see you back next week, folks, and enjoy the rest of your week. Over and out.
Over and out.
Now you're watching me, yeah, all eyes on me, 'cause I've been living the good life. So come fly with me into my fantasy, and we be loving the good life, good life.
I think this dream now just hit me. Why don't you just go there with me? Surfing the skies and splash in the clouds, dance in the crowds and laugh out loud. Holding your hand, unfolding a plan. Two souls in a land like gold in a pan. Float in the breeze or soak in the sea. Come go there with me where we both wanna be. Lie on the beach or fly in the streets. I'm trying to keep this vine in the reach. Putting everything I do aside, me and you approach. We can travel to the very end of the universe. You and me are meant to be divine energy. Living with no rules in a pool of serenity. Come be my fantasy, go away with me. Lock us up in a dream and throw away the keys. Come on, live this up now. Good life, good laugh, good love now. Come on, live this with me. Good laugh, good love, we live free. Come on, live this up now. Good life, good laugh, good love now. Come on, live this with me. Good laugh, good love, we live free. We need to rise with these new eyes. Pull the disguise off of these blue skies. Lights in the city reflect off the shoreline. When you're living this life, you want more time. Rewind the time, align planets. Ride this comet to a new dynamic. Your eyes on me, mine on you. Living the good life, we do what we want.